Someone you trusted turned on you. The replaying, the rage, the 2 a.m. How could they? You carry it everywhere. Marcus Aurelius was betrayed by a trusted general. His response will rewire how you see this. A business partner took what was yours. A friend talked behind your back. Someone you loved chose someone else. And now you carry it everywhere. Marcus Aurelius was betrayed by one of his most trusted generals, a man who raised an army to overthrow him. His own blood was turned against him, and his response is one of the most shocking moments in all of ancient history. He forgave him, not out of weakness, out of something far more powerful. Betrayal hits differently than any other kind of pain. A stranger hurts you. That's expected. The world is rough. But when someone you chose, someone you trusted, someone you led inside the walls, when they're the one holding the knife, that rewires something in your brain. It doesn't just hurt. It makes you question your own judgment. You start wondering, am I stupid? Did I miss the signs? Can I ever trust anyone again? And that's the real damage of betrayal. It's not what they did to you. It's what it does to you afterward. The walls you build, the people you push away, the cynicism that creeps in. You don't just lose the person who betrayed you. You lose your willingness to be open with anyone. The Stoics dealt with betrayal constantly. They lived in a world of political backstabbing, literal assassination plots, and friendships built on power rather than loyalty. And they developed a philosophy that doesn't just help you survive betrayal. It prevents it from destroying who you are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Plain English. What they did is a statement about their character. What you do next is a statement about yours. Don't let their betrayal turn you into someone you don't recognize. When Avidius Cassius, one of Marcus Aurelius's most trusted generals, declared himself emperor and raised an army to take the throne, Marcus Aurelius had every right to rage. This was a man he'd trusted with the entire eastern half of the empire, a man he'd promoted, defended, and empowered. And he repaid that trust with treason. But Marcus Aurelius didn't rage. He told his troops that if Cassius was captured, he should not be harmed. He said he hoped to settle it without bloodshed. He wrote that he didn't want to lose his humanity just because someone else had lost theirs. This is the Stoic principle at its sharpest. Other people's actions are not your fault, and they are not your responsibility. But your response always is. You can't control what someone does to you, but you have complete authority over what you become because of it. The man who is betrayed and becomes cruel has been defeated twice, once by the betrayal and once by his own reaction. The habit that breaks this. If you're carrying a betrayal right now, ask yourself one question. Has my response to this person made me someone I'm proud of, or someone I barely recognize? If the answer is the second one, the betrayal is still winning, and you're the one paying the price. Seneca wrote, "It is more shameful to distrust one's friends than to be deceived by them." Plain English. Betrayal doesn't mean you were wrong to trust. It means you trusted the wrong person. The solution isn't to stop trusting. It's to trust with more wisdom and less desperation. This is the trap most men fall into after betrayal. They slam the door shut. They decide trust is for fools. They build walls that nothing and nobody can penetrate. And they call it self-protection. But it's actually self-imprisonment. You're not protecting yourself from pain. You're guaranteeing a different kind of pain. The slow, quiet pain of isolation. Seneca understood the balance. He said you should trust people, but not immediately, not blindly. Trust should be earned incrementally. You share a little, you see how they handle it. You extend a little more, you watch what they do. Over time, a trustworthy person reveals themselves through consistency, not through promises. The Stoics also understood that some risk is inevitable. You cannot have deep relationships without the possibility of being hurt. The goal isn't to eliminate risk. The goal is to accept it knowingly, the way a soldier accepts danger, not because he's reckless, but because the mission matters. The habit that breaks this. Think about the person who betrayed you. Were there warning signs you ignored? Not to blame yourself, but to sharpen your judgment for next time. Most betrayals have a trail, a pattern of small dishonesty that you excused, a habit of putting themselves first that you explained away. Learn the pattern, not to become paranoid, to become peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "How much more damaging are the consequences of our anger and grief than the things that cause them?" Plain English, holding on to the betrayal doesn't punish them. It punishes you. Forgiveness isn't a gift to the person who hurt you. It's the key to your own cell. Most men resist forgiveness because it feels like losing, like you're letting them off the hook, like you're saying what they did was acceptable. But that's not what forgiveness means in the Stoic tradition. Forgiveness means, I'm done letting what you did control my inner life. I'm done replaying it. I'm done burning energy on someone who isn't worth it. I'm releasing this, not for you, but for me. Marcus Aurelius forgave Cassius not because the betrayal didn't matter. It could have cost him his empire and his life. He forgave because carrying the rage would have cost him something more important: his character, his clarity, his ability to lead from principle rather than pain. You don't have to reconcile with someone to forgive them. You don't have to let them back in. You don't even have to tell them. Forgiveness is an internal act. It's the moment you decide that this person's worst moment will not define your next chapter. The habit that breaks this. Write a letter to the person who betrayed you. Say everything. Hold nothing back. Then don't send it. Read it once. Then destroy it. The act of putting it on paper moves it from your mind to the page and leaves it there. This is the Stoic practice of externalization, getting the poison out so it stops circulating. Here's what you're going to do this week if you're carrying a betrayal. Step 1. Name it clearly. Write down exactly what happened, not the story you tell yourself, the facts. This person did this specific thing. Keep it to 2 or 3 sentences. The longer the narrative, the more power it has over you. Strip it down to facts. Step 2. Separate their action from your identity. Write, what they did says this about them: dishonest, selfish, cowardly, etc. Then write, what I do next says this about me. I choose to be Stoic. Fill in the blank with the quality you want to define your response. Step 3. Identify what you're still carrying. Is it anger, sadness, shame, self-doubt? Name the emotion specifically. You can't release what you can't identify. Step 4. Decide what you're keeping and what you're dropping. Some lessons from betrayal are valuable. Sharper instincts, better boundaries, deeper self-knowledge. Keep those. But the rumination, the fantasy of revenge, the 2 a.m. replays, those are dead weight. Choose today to set them down. Not once. Every time they come back, set them down again. That's the practice. Betrayal is one of the most human experiences there is. It happened to Marcus Aurelius. It happened to Seneca. It happened to Epictetus. It will happen to you. probably more than once. And the question is never, how do I make sure no one ever hurts me again? Because you can't. Not without becoming something hollow. The question is, when it happens, who will I be? The Stoics chose to be men whose character was not determined by the worst behavior of others. They chose to trust wisely, forgive deliberately, and keep moving forward with their integrity intact. Not because betrayal didn't hurt, because they refused to let the hurt become who they were. The person who betrayed you made their choice. Now you make yours. If this helped you, hit subscribe and stay close. Drop a comment below. What hit hardest? I read every reply. We're building this together.